Hello, good afternoon. My name is Akasaro Trevachulu. Wow, great. So, this afternoon I'm here to talk to you about career pathways, career choices, and career progression for everyone that is at the verge of starting making career choices either this year or you finished last year. Okay, by profession, I'm a laboratory scientist. Specific career, I specialized in microbiology. So microbiology, as the name itself entails, is a study that looks at minute organisms that are either beneficial or harmful to human beings, to the nature, and to the environment at large. So we are the people that go deep, look for microorganisms, be it bacteria, be it fungi, be it viruses. Whatever microorganism that we can lay our hands on, we begin to exploit their advantages and disadvantages, their use, how we can use them in different places. So microbiology is a very wide course that a person can take, that anyone should go for, that if you have passion for minute organisms. So yeah. For the most part, I think for us in Southern Africa especially, and in this part of the world, microbiologists work largely in hospitals. So in the hospital, microbiologists will work at the lab where they work under the microbiology laboratory. So there we do things like sensitivity, we do things like culture, we do things like microscopy, we do a number of tests on different specimens that are sent to the lab for us to examine so that we can truly ascertain the claims that doctors are making. So a doctor will come and maybe perhaps they think a patient maybe has let's say a patient, what example can we give? Okay, perhaps the doctor is diagnosing a patient and they think the patient has typhoid. They think a patient has maybe any kind of microorganism related disease. So they'll bring samples to us. So for things like typhoid, they're going to bring stool. So they bring stool to the lab. We are going to examine stool. We are going to examine its texture, its color, its consistency, check if there's any blood or mucus in it. Then from there, we subject it to microscopy. After microscopy, we're going to check the number of white blood cells. We're going to check the number of red blood cells, and we're going to see if there's any kind of yeast in the stool. After that, we're going to make a judgment if we're going to proceed to microscopy, to culture, So after we do culture, after 3 days, results from culture come. Then once we get results from culture, the plates that we do the culture from, they are going to give us a clue to find out what kind of microorganism has grown or is causing the upset in the stomach of our patient. So after the culture is done, after 3 days, we go for what we call sensitivity. So we get different types of drugs that we subject the microorganisms. So after we take the different types of drugs, subject the microorganism to, we check for the one with the highest inhibition zone. Then from there, we say, okay, maybe penicillin as an example, or we take Flagyl or whatever it is, antibiotic that we get, that we have subjected our microorganisms to, that has greater effect on the microorganism. That is the one that we're going to recommend to the doctors back again, that they give to our patients. So that is the clinical part of microbiology. But beyond that, microbiology can work in an industry. Wow, that is so great. And I think this is one way that we need to exploit, especially here in Southern Africa. So a microbiologist rather can work in an industry. So what type of industries? A microbiologist can work in mines. So in a mine, there are new technologies now that they are using called leaching, if you have heard of it. So in that kind of a scenario, we use microorganisms to mine ores, to mine for our stones or whatever it is that you're doing in your mine. You are mining for precious jewelries and other stuff. It may be gold, copper, and other stuff. We use microorganisms through the process of leaching. Microorganisms are going to help us because they feed on the the hydrocarbons in those copper ores, gold ores, and whatever it may be, and they'll be able to give us our finished minerals that we need. A microbiologist can also work in an industry like a pharmaceutical industry, where you test the potency of your drugs, the susceptibility of drugs to microorganisms and other stuff. And besides that, a microbiologist can also work in what we call, okay, the name is going. A microbiologist can work in an industry that is food industries, let's call them like that. So you work in a food industry where you are making yogurt, where you are making drinks, where you are making, so you work there first of all to check how you can use microorganisms to make yogurts. Beyond that, you can work as a preservative officer, so you know the shelf life of certain foods because of the microorganisms that can affect them in that way. So this is what I do most of the time, and this is what I studied and specialized. Would I advise a young man to go into microbiology? Capital yes. So the problem we have, especially here in Southern Africa and Africa at large, is that we are so much predisposed to going for jobs that will probably give us easy access into the job market, and that is where we hit ourselves so much. Your passion in life must direct the steps that you are taking. I remember as a young man, my mother wanted me to go and do teaching. I refused so strongly. Why? Because I knew that is not where my passion was. My passion has always been with the lab, with the hospital, and I knew that is what I was going to do best in life. So I had to convince my mother that, listen, this is what I want to do in life. So if you could help me go through this route, it would be so great. And by the grace of God, I was able to do my undergraduate in microbiology, and doors started opening. I had my job, and here am I. I'm doing what God wanted me to be doing at this moment. So there are many options that you can go for, but if your heart wants to work in the lab and other stuff, you can try and explore the microbiology route. It's a very lucrative, very paying, of course. It's a very good journey that you can take. So thank you so much. What do you need for you to do microbiology? Just make sure that you're doing well in your sciences. One of the best things that they need for you to have is to have a scientific mind. So make sure you are doing well in your sciences. Make sure you are a person that can think analytically, because you are trying to deal with things that your natural eye cannot see. So most of the time we use inferences. Most of the time we use microscopes and other stuff. So you have to be sharp with your eyes. You have to be very critical with your analysis of things, so that you do not prescribe wrong things to the doctors. You do not prescribe wrong things to anywhere where you are found to be working. So you have to be good in your sciences. You have to be good in mathematics, because there are some calculations that we have to make at the end of the day. And you have to be a person of integrity, because our work demands integrity. Our work will demand integrity. The confidentiality that comes with the results that you come with. So there's a lot of things that is needed, but as a baseline, you need to be good in your sciences, you need to be good in your mathematics, and I know you are going to do well as a microbiologist. So I would really want many people, young Zambians especially, for us to take this route of science, go into microbiology. If you have passion for medicine, go for medicine. If you have passion for economics, go for economics. But what we are looking for at the end of the day is to see a better Zambia. So whatsoever thing that you have a passion for, whatsoever thing that your heart yearns for, that is the thing that I'm going to advise you. That's the thing that I'm going to encourage you to go for. Whatever thing that you have and you know it is going to save you and save the greater good of the humanity and Zambia at large, I would advise you to go for it. Do not give up on your dreams. Do not give up on your hopes, and do not give up on the things that you truly know that your heart wants to do, because that is the thing that is going to bless this generation. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and may God bless your future endeavors in your academics. Have a blessed day.